Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pageants and Tangents. We are down Kenzie today because Kenzie is busy coaching because apparently she's very in demand because she must be that good. And also Peyton is busy prepping for Miss Volunteer America, which she should be. I'm starting the stream now. I forgot. Sorry. So we've got Geanna sitting in with us for the next few weeks. She's a familiar face. Let's go around the room and everyone can catch us up on what they've been doing. So Morgan, you first. What have you been busy with?
Well, same old coaching jazz, but today we had a photo shoot. So we had a friend of ours who's a model come down and I was in the woods, not literally, kind of. I was in a place in Charleston where it was like partially marsh, partially water, partially woods. I was getting eaten alive by mosquitoes though, so that was a good time. Yes. And then came home and hopped on a consult call with Lexus, who is Miss South Dakota, USA. Congratulations, newly crowned. And she's going to rock with me through Miss USA and after. So, we're going to be getting her geared up for Miss USA now, which is exciting. And then I made a coffee and jumped on a call with you beautiful humans. And now we're here. And I came with printed receipts.
She brought the receipt. Morgan is taking this one personal. So I said, what's the worst thing anyone has said about you online? Because as I said, someone said that I was either completely stupid or naive. And at this point, I just don't care. I'm like, yeah, and this person lives in America. I'm like, come to USA. We'll do, celebrity boxing match style. And I'm happy to do that. Let me rearrange your face for you. Anyway, I did a couple of questions before I go to Geanna. I have a friend in South Carolina, and she said she lives on the swamp. Is South Carolina, does it actually have legitimate swamps?
I mean, not like what you would imagine for like Louisiana swamps, but yeah.
All right. Because she was mentioning the mosquitoes. And last week you mentioned Presley coming in for a photo shoot. And then obviously I've been keeping an eye on the open casting, and I saw that she's entered open casting as well. It's like, it's so funny seeing people who, they're going for a photo shoot, but they never tell you why. And then it's like, oh, now you're on the open casting. Now I see what was happening. How did that shoot go?
Fantastic. What kind of cracked me up though, so we did all beach bikini style shooting, which she was like, I've never done this. This is so outside of my comfort zone. Like I would never do this before. And I'm like, girl, your body is so the way that I would live. I mean, I'm your coach and I'm over here like add it to the Pinterest board, inspo body goals. I would live in a bikini. I would live in a bikini if I looked like that. So photos came out stunning. Josh is still in the process of editing majority of them, but we got a few knocked out and sent to her, and I don't know if she used them for the open casting because I know they can upload a few photos, so I don't know if she used any of them for the open casting, but Josh will be for sure posting a few on his page.
If I looked that good, I would be using all of them.
You want to do a Speedo photo shoot when you're in Miami? We'll bring our camera.
Do you know what we call them? Do you know what we call Speedos in Australia?
No.
Oh, wait, but banana hammocks.
No. No. We call them budgie smugglers.
No.
Budgie smugglers, as in budgerigar smugglers. I'll leave that up there. Now, we had a former prime minister called Tony Abbott. He was famous for going around in budgie smugglers. So that's what we call them here in Australia. We call Speedos.
That is definitely that's a choice.
Smugglers. I remember seeing someone had mocked up a photo of that prime minister with a budgie coming out of his smugglers, and that's not something that we needed to see. Anyway, no. I do need training if I'm going to get in budgie smugglers. I'll leave it at that. Geanna, I'm surprised you never heard that because your mom was Australian, right? She's never mentioned budgie smugglers.
No, she unfortunately did not teach me those terms, I guess, growing up. But I could have sworn there was another funny name for it. But yeah.
Well, banana hammock is funny as well, but no, we call them budgie smugglers.
I got Geanna, that from friends.
Catch us up with what's happening with you. And is your laptop fixed or is it still?
No, I'm still on a phone. A laptop, actually, that's what I did this morning because it's just been so crazy like during the week with work, and like the last 2 weeks of classes have been I don't know, we had a celebration on like Wednesday after school, and then I had my last week of Greek dance this past week. So now my afternoons are a lot more open till the end of the school year. But no, I brought it to the Apple store this morning, and they are ordering the screen because none of them in the area have the screen, of course. So it's going to take 7 to 10 days for it to come in, and then 2 to 3 days to fix it from them. So probably the next time you see me, I will be on a phone as well.
It's all good. Your phone is set up beautifully. I have to ask before I forget, is the plant dead yet?
No, it's still alive. It's downstairs. I should have brought it so you can see it. Oh my goodness. It's fine. I'll bring it in at some point. I'll go get it as proof. I got a bouquet of flowers and a plant on the last day of Greek dance on Wednesday, and I made a joke about how I'm a plant mom on my story, and I will give updates when there's updates to give. And he's like, it's not lasting a week. I said, don't doubt me. And it's only been 4 or 5 days. Okay, don't doubt me.
That thing is gonna outlive everyone.
Yeah, watch.
That thing will survive the apocalypse now just because it heard you talking trash, and it's like, you know what? We got someone to prove wrong.
I'm not talking trash about the plan. I wasn't talking trash about Geanna either. I was just offering insight, like those void forms or void boards where they're saying they're offering constructive criticism and they're discussing how fat you are. Like, yeah, that's very constructive. Just in terms of, I don't know if we have there's green thumb. I don't have green thumb. I call it black thumb because I have the curse of death. I'm hopeless at taking care of plants, so much so that I thought I would get a cactus because that's the one thing you can't kill. And I managed to kill that because I watered it too much. Mm-hmm. So are we talking that level of black thumb? Because you can't give me any plant.
Oh no, I think I'm pretty good. It's just when I start forgetting to water things. I think I could keep it. We'll see. Knock on wood.
I'll cross my fingers for you. If you need help, text me. My husband during COVID became a plant dad, but I literally can't even make eye contact with his plants, or one of them's gonna turn brown. I won't even look at them. Because Adrian and I have that in common. I can't even make eye contact with it, but our whole house, I'm pretty sure they're supplying all the oxygen we need. It's insane. It looks like a jungle.
All that carbon dioxide. Some people have green thumb. I don't. I will say I've met a few people who have black thumb when it comes to technology. There are some people who just walk anywhere near any technology and it just breaks for no reason. So I'm glad I don't have that aura, although, who knows? Anyway, before we get into the meat and potatoes of today, let me tee you up. So as I said, I had a comment under one of my posts, and the person was very thoughtful and decided to copy-paste his copy-pasta, not only on my Instagram post, but also on YouTube. And I'm not going to go into details because I don't care, and I don't really know who this guy is. I looked him up, and I still don't care. Celebrity boxing match, otherwise it didn't happen. But I just want to get across, if you are competing in pageants, you may come across and even if it's not, if you're on social media, you may come across people who write some very, let's say, the void forms would have you believe that it's constructive. I'm going to say it's absolutely horrid comments on your social media. And it's important, I think, you understand this going forward, be ready for it, but also so you know how to ignore it. So we'll go into the how to ignore it or how to deal with it a bit later. I feel like Morgan has the receipts and she's going to kill me if I don't let her dig into it. She literally has them printed out. So Morgan, if you want to go for it, and then Geanna and I can weigh in.
I love this. Okay, so I'm going to start with my own personal story. Back in 2022, 2023, I think it was 2020. It was one of them. A girlfriend and client of mine was crowned a national title. Y'all, I'm trying to anonymity.
All the details. Yeah.
Anonymity. She was crowned a national title. I was at the pageant where it happened. Afterwards, everything's, done, went on stage, took a picture with her. And you might remember this. This was when the TikTok trend of I took over a year off and cut you some slack.
Yes.
And then it says, tell a friend to tell a friend she's back. And that was the lyrics from the song that was popular at the time. So when I posted the picture of her with crown and new sash, my caption was, tell a friend to tell a friend, hashtag she's back. And, you know, that was it. Like, that got the point across. Excited. So happy for her. Didn't say anything else. That was my whole caption. Went to bed, woke up the next morning to probably 15, 20 people all sending me the exact same screenshot that someone had posted, another trainer in the industry. And the caption said, I was blocked. I couldn't go read it myself, but I have multiple screenshots of it.
Nice.
I would like to congratulate X's, they named their business, friend and client, blank, for becoming Miss blank. First of all, there's others that claim to be her hero or make you believe that they were her all in all. The truth is, she trained herself very well prior to working with us as official sponsors. They were the state sponsor. She was given a national title, but they were the state sponsor of her state. Right. She is a pageant veteran and knows exactly what to do when it comes to her body, but she still worked with us for months for preparation for Miss. I have in this post I'm reading it verbatim. I have in this post is the most pages that Instagram would allow me to post as proof. And the sessions were not motivational sessions either. That's because when she said thank you, she said thank you to her sponsor, who was this person, me, and a workout studio that she worked out at. So she thanked 3 separate people. This person was thanked for motivation. That was it. Nor did we bait, or this is what got me, nor did we bait title holders for free professional photos in exchange to work with us. Okay. We have honestly worked the most with her. She is such a kind-hearted lady, and she gives credit to all that worked with her wholeheartedly. Our fruit hangs on our tree. For the last 6 years in a row, we have trained 3 Miss blanks and 3 first runner-ups. To sum it up, this post, I'd like to say, instead of hashtag tell a friend, tell the truth. And then hashtag integrity, hashtag tell a friend, hashtag love God, which is the funniest one out of all the 3 hashtags. Okay, apparently then it went on after that to, I didn't get screenshots of it, but to say and insinuate that I had no integrity, that I was lying about how I worked with this person. I was thanked by this person for how I helped them. That part didn't bother me. I don't have to bribe people to be my clients by offering them free photo shoots with my husband. Actually, most of them still do end up paying for photo shoots with my husband. Our businesses don't really coincide all too often. And I'm not going to lie, the rest of the trash talking that I was getting screenshots from basically saying that I was a liar, that I was claiming people I had not trained and had no access to, messed me up for a bit. I cried for like 3 weeks straight, and I will give a shout out to the ultimate writer, Raven Ramsey, because she was one of them who sent me the screenshot, but then she also checked on me. And I was like, she was like, are you good? And I was like, honestly, I'm not. I was like, I'm not a gangster. I've cried. I've been crying. And she went off on her Instagram stories, went fully ham on this person and was like, Morgan has more integrity in her left thumb than we do as an entire population. Totally had my back. The one thing I will say is I never felt the need to respond publicly and make a post. I never felt the need to say anything I could, and I was blocked anyway, so I couldn't even access it. It sucked because I felt like my character was getting attacked when I take a lot of pride in my character, because in my opinion, that's really all you have is who you are as a person. And for about 3 weeks, genuinely questioned whether or not I even wanted to continue to be a coach, because I was having people who were telling me when they would do consults and stuff, oh yeah, my old trainer used to get on a FaceTime workout with me and just dog you out and talk so much ish about you the entire workout session. And I would know who it was because it was the same person. But then I had to realize that I would never switch places with this person for a day in my life. And at the end of the day, if you have nothing better to do than to drag someone else, it's pretty sad. And I think that speaks more about your character than anyone else's. What Susie says of Sally says more of Susie than it does of Sally. And I'm a big believer in God getting his lick back. And my business has been fruitful. And the fruit hangs on my tree too. So my business has been fruitful and it has been great. But that was probably the hardest thing for me to have to deal with, was the hearsay of this person has said this about you and that about you. And they've told me this, that, and the other, and none of it being true. But also having to sit in enough stillness and to know that me arguing back wasn't going to get me anywhere and it wasn't going to be worth it. I will say when I went to Miss USA in 2023, this person was there. And I heard a quote once on TikTok that said, if the demons are chasing you in your nightmare, turn around and face them. So instead of me seeing this person in public and walking away, I went up and introduced myself. And the first thing out of my mouth was, hi, I don't think we've formally met, but you've certainly spoken about me on Instagram before. I'm Morgan. It's nice to meet you. Your clients look fantastic, which wasn't a lie. Their one client looked fantastic. And the response I got was, oh, thank you, Sister Morgan. God bless you. God bless you. And that.
Can I just say, this is a horrific story, but the one that's most annoying me right now is when someone invokes God's name in vain. I just, if you're doing bad work, don't use, just don't. It sounds so bad. Like it's got nothing to do with you.
It makes no sense.
I have a similar story where I had to learn what you said about not biting back, because I did bite back, because I like I'm a combative and argumentative person if you push my buttons. And for me, integrity is a big one, but also intelligence, because I will happily debate anyone into the dust. And someone had impugned both, and they literally said, oh, he's not a real, he doesn't know anything about, to give you context, this person, it was a UK person, said he doesn't know anything about pageants. He's not really like part of the pageant family, which is fine. But she had the word pageant in her business name. And she had misspelt it on her business cards and her social media. So I said, I might not know anything about pageants, but at least I know how to spell it. And then she spun that into a story about how I was making fun of her for having dyslexia, which I didn't know that she had. Frankly, I don't know if she does. And so much so because I know a lot of people too. And one of my friends was sending me posts on LinkedIn where this woman's origin story literally now is, I was on social media and this guy bullied me for having dyslexia. And I'm like, really? I've now become part of your origin story.
I love that for you.
But the thing is, we used to have around the same number of Instagram followers, right? I think I was on 2. They were on 1.5 back then. And every now and then, I will admit, I look back and like they're now maybe on 2.5, 3. I'm now on like 12. So and it's a whole thing about, just do good work. Yeah. Really keep your head down. I learned my lesson from that. I won't engage in these sorts of things online because there's no point. You just get dragged down into the weeds.
Yeah.
But
what is it that they say about arguing with an idiot? They'll drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. Yeah.
When someone sent me that, and I was like, yeah, that's actually really true.
No, that tracks. I do have one more. This is from a client of mine. Would you like me to share it?
Well, before we do that, I was going to, Geanna is so lovely. I'm assuming no one has ever said anything nasty about you. So you're just sitting there and like, everyone just tells me how beautiful I am.
No, absolutely not. Actually, I mean, when you said something about like learning not to bite back, I think I had learned not to bite back, luckily, when I was in high school, because I had once had a really, this was not pageant related, but I had, back in the age of Finstas, do you remember Finstas? Yeah, right? Yeah. It's like back in the age of Finstas, like I remember I had gotten sent something that was said about me on a person's Finsta at school. I like responded. Obviously, this was high school. Like we both got in trouble, and I'm like, well, damn, I'm never doing that again. Like I was the one being attacked first, but whatever. But actually, I vividly remember my experience at Miss Teen USA and like crying multiple times, like in the bathroom in my hotel room, and like my roommate's like, it's okay, like, you know, a couple times, like she's like, it's fine. But like I had quite a few comments that were posted on like other people's TikToks about me, because if that makes any sense, like because I was like in the background of things and like whatever. And I remember that was the first year they brought back, right? Did they have it before? I think state costume. Right. So my teen year in 2021 was the year that like we found out they're bringing back state costume. Mind you, like I competed for New York teen 3 times, but that was also like my first experience in the pageant world. So like I had no idea what the baseline was for state costumes. And like if you looked back, I guess like it wasn't like you would see like old Miss costumes like for state costumes from like years ago. Like there wasn't anything to compare it to. And I was being told that like it's the first year, like they just announced it. Like I was one of the last states to be crowned back then too. I was crowned like a week or two before we went to Houston to do our headshots in September. And I don't know, I remember getting a lot of just like different advice, and I was a teen. So like I didn't really have a lot of like my own money at disposal to spend on like an elaborate state costume. Did not know what to, everyone's saying, like I had a lot of people in my ear saying, don't spend too much money on it. It's not judged, like just, you know, get through it, whatever. I was kind of like stressed with other wardrobe at that point and like being kind of newish to that world. That was my first national pageant. So like, mind you, I was like, my head was spinning. So I think I just decided on like State Flower, right? And my dress sponsor at the time was nice and gave me like a discounted like dress with like roses on it, because the state flower of New York is a rose, right? It was just, I could have done so much with it. I was just like so overwhelmed. I turned like, that's what I decided to go with. And I wasn't, as far as we knew, like our state pageant wasn't covering anything. I did end up getting like reimbursed partially for the dress and like, but you know, everything else I added to it, whatever. But I remember someone, like a couple of the girls made videos to like the state song in our state costumes, and everyone was like, oh, New York girl, are you even trying? Like she, like, why is she even there? Like put me in for New York. Like it was just like a whole, like the comments were just shitting on New York and like what I was wearing. And I was like, okay, well, you know what? Like this does not feel great. I was like 18, 19. I was on like the older end of the team, but I just remember being like that was my goal for so long, right? I spent 3 years competing at New York Teen to get to Teen USA, and to be told I wasn't even trying, when I was like, this, like, I'm genuinely trying, like, I want to be here. This was just like a phase that I had no idea what to expect for. Like if I was competing again, I would totally go all out. Or, you know, but again, I was like a college student. I would have saved up a little more ahead of time to know for that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think that knocked me down.
Can I just ask you guys before we go any further? I have 2 questions. So sometimes these people will take the defense of we're being constructive. And I quibble on that. But more than that, who asked you in the first place? And even more than that, what sort of person does this? Because if you know anything about social media, like people can see your, I mean, there's Morgan's favorite handle, Miss Big, you know, That's a bit different. But especially if you're in pageants, why on earth would you comment? Why would you take time out of the day to take your phone out and use your fingers to type? So, like, I don't understand. I've never done that. Honest to God, never done it. If I don't like something, I go and do something else. I don't stay there describing what I don't like. Can you guys, like, is it just me? I don't understand the sort of person who does that.
I think the thing that is, here's the thing. When you're in the spotlight, you are 100% always going to receive criticism. I know that that's just part of what comes with it. So I understand that aspect. Do I agree with it? No. Do I understand that it's just going to inevitably be a part of it? Yes, because there will always be, I'll call them like keyboard warriors. There will always be those people. You will always have criticism coming from somewhere in some shape. But the thing that's hard for me, and it wouldn't make it better, but the thing that I hate is having worked with these women at this level of pageantry. I know how much heart and soul and blood and sweat and genuine tears goes into this process. So if you think that you're providing them constructive criticism, my suggestion would be provide it to them prior to them walking on that stage. Because if you say, like, if she competes in a black gown and you just want to be like, oh man, I just really feel like Miss New York would look so much better in blue. Say it before she's on stage at nationals in the black gown again. Like, the fact that it's already been done. It's already been done. They've already walked in it. They've already done the state costume. And then you're critiquing it when you don't know what their financial background is. You don't know how much they had to pay, how hard they had to work to get to where they were going to be. And forgetting, there's in the arts, in acting and stuff, they have a big belief in separating, like, they're like being able to separate the art from the artist. And I think that there needs to be that same thing in pageantry, where there's this understanding and this empathy of, to you, it's a comment about what they wore, how they did their hair, what their makeup looked like. But that's a real freaking human, dude, who can't go back and redo it. They can't rewind time. And to you, it's passive. You say it in passing, you type it, you forget it. It lives with them for so long. And it messes them up for so long, coming from a girl who cried over someone who now their opinion, I could give two rats. I don't care. But it really screwed me up and it hurt me so very badly for a long time. Seeing how it affects these women that I love and that I care about, it infuriates me, because people can make the comments, but then how would you feel if that was your child, your sister, your best friend, your aunt? You would also be upset and mad. I think what really burns my butt in your case is the fact that, I know you said you were 18 or 19. I don't care. You were competing in the teen division. You were a child. And to speak about a child is insane to me. These are teens, dog. They are teenagers. And I get it. Teenagers might be catty with other teenagers, but where we really don't need to see a keyboard warrior is typing about a minor or someone who's barely legal. That's a baby. That's a fetus. What are you doing?
I just think that we can do better than the keyboard warrior thing. This is why whenever anyone labels me as a pageant critic or pageant expert, I'm like, take that back.
No,
I'm not one of those people. Like, for example, someone asked me about my opinion of Miss Grand All Stars, and I stay away from Grand because of all the controversy that it's constantly embroiled in. So I only know this like tangentially, but I've seen like them giving scores based on how a girl's face looks. I saw one comment said, "Oh, I gave her bad scores because her legs were too skinny." I'm like, I'm, and also there were two dudes on the, and this was really funny because I was thinking this, I didn't say it, but someone said, who thinks that the guys on the judging panel who are giving these women like 4s out of 10 for how their face looks, anyone want to like score how you think these men look? And I was just like, I thought turnabout would be fair play. We'll go into how to handle these. It's interesting to me that Morgan dealt with it and it hurt you that bad. For me also, the thing is, I have developed a much thicker skin is the thing. That is the gift that's come from it. I don't know, Geanna, you would say the same thing. Yeah. Not that you can ever take credit. Like people go, oh yeah, you got that tougher skin because I gave you criticism. No, don't do that. It's nothing to do with you. But let me just go through some of our viewers, what they've said. If you hear my TikTok come on, it's because I need to go onto my TikTok. So I had this one, which I thought you guys submitted some, which I thought were kind of next level. Let me just get this one from TikTok. Okay, so this is from Canada. Okay. Someone started a whole Instagram account solely dedicated to canceling me when I started competing again. Everything in it was untrue, but it still really affected me that someone could hate me that much to try and hurt me. And this is a Canadian. Like, Canadians are super nice, right? And also, I know this person. She's very nice. I commented back, why on earth did they do that? She hasn't written back yet. But why would you start a whole Instagram account to cancel a pageant girl? Like, what's wrong with you? I don't understand. And then over on Instagram, we had a few. Let me just read them out quickly. So Brenton said, as a pageant geek who competed, so this is a guy, participated at Supra South Africa, made top 10 with an effeminate walk in a predominantly closeted industry. Okay, so there's a lot there to go through. I went through the most being alienated. I was called things I dare not repeat. The empowerment part of pageantry is lost in the muck that is trolling. And then someone else, when I won Mrs. I can't pronounce that. I think it's a Spanish word. State pageant here in Costa Rica. Another candidate's fan. This is similar to what Geanna, you were talking about. It's not just commented under your stuff. Sometimes it's commented under other people's stuff. Mm-hmm. But another candidate's fan wrote, she looks like a trans. You can work out the rest. And thankfully, I work on my mental health as part of what I do in wellness and holistic fitness. So this did not affect me. I think in his narrow, probably conservative point of view, he thought that was an insult. And another person said, I made the mistake of looking at comments on Voy forms. I don't know what these Voy forms are. While competing at Miss Florida, USA, my very first state pageant, oof. Talk about brutal. She's out of her element. No chance. It was so discouraging. 10 out of 10 recommend to protect your mental health and avoid looking at that. And then the death threats. So this person got death threats.
I got a message. Someone got death threats too.
This is what, especially if you're a young person going in, I don't even think it's age, because some people are built different. Like, criticism just bounces off them. But if you are sort of in an emotionally vulnerable point, like, you have to be prepared for some of this stuff, because if it catches you unawares, it can really, really sort of hit home and not in a good way. But Morgan, you had more receipts. Do you want to go into more receipts?
This one's a lengthy one, and I had to reread it like 10 times to make sure I was understanding it properly.
Okay.
So a current client of mine did a pageant. The screenshot, this was posted on Facebook, and it looks like an old Facebook. So it had to have been a while ago. She competed, and she ended up winning, I'm guessing like the health or fitness award or whatever, physical fitness award. This other person made this post, but she added my client as a friend on Facebook solely that she could tag her in this post that she made. And I'm going to read it verbatim. This was from the other person. Unfortunately, I was beat out of the physical fitness award. Evidently, I need to rethink my diet I think she meant regimen, but she says regime. After all, what would I know about health and diet? I've only been a registered nurse for 17 years, a certified yoga therapist, 500-hour yoga instructor, and group fitness leader. Also, need not forget, placing top 10 at a previous national pageant, receiving best figure. I need to reread the National Heart Association's criteria for a heart-friendly diet. I'll get right on that. And then posted a picture of my client who won the physical fitness award next to her. Okay? So then my client commented on it. First of all, I would have been mortified if somebody would have done that, because what? everyone's commenting underneath and being like, you know, I'm not trying to diss, but you should have won, blah, 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 blah. My client commented on it since, you know, she's the other picture. Won. She said, I truly apologize. I think you are fabulous. And quite honestly, I'm shocked. I won myself. I lost 70 pounds and had quite a bit left to go. But after having 2 babies in 24 months, I did the best I could. I wish you nothing but the world. And this woman replied back. First of all, you were being ugly. This girl meets you with grace. I'm talking knuckles bleeding because she was clinging to the cross so hard. And you reply. And y'all, the reply, she commented back and she said, client, I've competed in numerous pageant systems. Every single one has promised fairness. I was optimistic when I signed up with this system. Again, let down. I think you're a beautiful young lady, but I pull no punches. I speak the truth. On fitness, there were a dozen ladies on that stage, including myself, that should have scored higher than you. That's a fact. I too have lost a lot of weight after my first child over 10 years ago, and I kept it off with a healthy lifestyle. I did not mean to offend you, nor make you feel less. But again, I call it like I see it, or I don't call it at all. I do wish you much luck on your future endeavors, even if it is through pageantry. However, saying that, this will be my last entry into the world of make-believe. It's disheartening to dare to believe in something only to find out in a very insulting way it was farce. Again, good luck and much love. I hope you're not mad at me, and I hope your feelings aren't hurt. But I'm genuine and truthful in all aspects of life. This is no different. Kissy face. Girl, you didn't win fitness, and I'm pretty sure you didn't win that pageant because you have an ugly heart. And I'm sorry. I'm a big believer that you can be beautiful on the outside, but if you're ugly on the inside, it's going to radiate out of you. And like to take it to that level of comparing yourself to the person who beat you for that award and to drag them on Facebook and add them as a friend, to tag them in it. That's like, girl, you're grown.
Yeah.
You are not 13, Boki.
That, I don't know where.
My flabbers were gasted because the audacity. I'm sorry, what? When I tell you, I told my client, I was like the level of grace you gave.
Yeah.
You could have fully crashed out, but it can't make you feel any better when you see all of her Facebook friends commenting underneath being like, oh, you definitely shouldn't have lost. But to do that to someone, to another human being, is mind-boggling to me.
I don't know where to begin on that one. When we were talking, I was mentioning before, it bothers me when people are really nasty and then say, bless or God bless or something like that, or peace. And it's just like, I think that person, not your client, the other person, they need what they like is a come to Jesus moment. I think that's really, she mentioned he had a child. I'm going to say, I feel sorry for the child. I hope the child's doing well, because if your mother is like that, but some of it just, that just sounds like a horrible, nasty person, and maybe she was going through something. Who knows? I'll grant you that clemency. But it's when you say things like, I'm speaking the truth. No, you're giving your opinion. Don't get it mixed up.
Speaking your truth.
Yeah, and those are not the same things at all. So don't say you're speaking the truth. Okay, all the tirade before about being a nurse, being a yoga, irrelevant, right? If you were in court and you were going on about that, it'd be like, relevancy. Well, why are you bringing this up? I've seen many yoga instructors who are not in great shape, and I'm not judging them on it. Maybe they're on their own journey, but just because you're a yoga instructor or an RN, I will say people working in the health industry aren't normally taught that much about diet. No. They're normally taught what to do when you keel over from a heart attack. Yeah. So you bringing that up makes zero sense. But the part where it's like, oh, you put up the photo, I should have won. We always tell the girls it's not about how much body fat you have. It's about how much you own the stage.
Mhm.
And so you can't have it both ways. If it's about how much you own the stage, then putting up a photo of you next to the other person, again, relevancy. It's not how many abs you have.
No.
It's, did you have the confidence on stage? Like, you can't have it both ways. We can't tell girls it's not about how you look, but then all your critique is how you look.
Yeah.
Like, those two don't, I don't know. That's next level. I can't believe your client had that much.
The audacity. I very, very rarely am I speechless. I was slack jawed reading that. I had to reread it 3 times to make sure I was reading it all correctly. Because
It does sound like
there's no way this is real.
No, I wouldn't have been able to respond with that level of grace as your client did. I would have just ignored it. But then for that person to double down.
To double down is wild. It's crazy. Like, girl, what? I mean, the cojones.
That's audacity, but not in a good way.
Insane.
Okay. Just quickly, these are some shocking stories. When it comes to Instagram, at least anyway. So we've talked about this before, and I'll get you guys to weigh in. So obviously there's who you follow, there's who you don't follow. You got your close friends list if you want to disclose personal stuff. When it comes time to dealing with comments such as this, you've got unfollow, which is, the biggest one, but you've also got block. So if you unfollow someone, you might still see their stuff. If you really never want to hear from this person again, you got block, right? But then 2 other ones, you've got restrict, which means if they comment under your social media, none of your other followers will see their comments, which is a good one. If all they're doing is copy pasting the same hateful comments on all your social media, thank you, person. Right, so restrict. And then the other one is, what's the other one? There's restrict and there's mute.
Yeah.
So if you are competing with someone and you just don't want to see their stuff, because you know how it is when, like, I'm sure Geanna can tell you this, when you're in the last stages of pageant prep and you see what everyone else is doing, you see their dress, you see they're working out, you don't really want to be bombarded with that on a daily basis. And so the mute, I strongly advise using muting your fellow competitors, not because you don't love them, but because you need to stay in your own lane, protect your own mental health, and then obviously unmute them after it's all said and done. But I think those are your main options when it comes time to dealing with comments or even the self-comparison issue. Because as you've seen, people can write some pretty wild things. So, Geanna, any final thoughts or any final comments on some of the stories that we've heard?
That's insane. The tagging to make sure they see is insane. Also, come on, Facebook, like, grow up. No, I'm kidding.
What are we, 80?
Yeah, literally, like, come on, just no, that was mean. But yeah, that's crazy, and I would probably, like, I've gone towards like blocking if I need to. Yeah, because like even leading up to Long Island, someone's like, "Oh my God, your headshot looks so photoshopped." I was like, "Okay, block." Like, I don't even know who you are.
Nope.
You have like a fake profile picture. So there's just like it was. So it was just like, you're deleted and blocked, because like I don't need to see that every time I open up that post. I think I've gotten a lot better as I've gotten older, and like, again, kind of like you were saying, like, not because of the, like, it's not like, don't credit yourselves for like making me stronger because of the comments, but like, I think I've just also gotten better at like myself and like focusing on myself and not comparing and not caring as much. But that's wild.
You just you reminded me, I don't know whether we will do this episode, but a few of you through pageantpod.com. So if you have any things that you want us to discuss, but you want to do it anonymously, you can go to pageantpod.com. And more than a few of you submitted stories about like horrific pageant fans. So maybe we have to do like our wildest pageant fan stories. Because in terms of like fake profile photos, there's someone who comments underneath all of your guys' posts with lovey hearts and, you know, really that kind of creepy. and then you look at the profile photo and it's Ryan Reynolds, and it's like, and then half the time when you look at people who are writing crap about you underneath their private profiles, they've never posted anything. They followed like 5,000 people. No one's following them. And it's just like, people get very brave behind a keyboard with, this benefit of anonymity. And I'm just like, if you wouldn't say it to someone's face, don't type, guys. It's not that difficult. And don't tell me it's constructive criticism. I'm a coach. I don't give critique unless someone asks for it. So if I'm a coach and I'm not doing it, what? I don't know. I'll get set off on
Did I pay you? Did I pay you for your constructive criticism? No.
Well,
so
and it also, again, if it's going to be constructive criticism, it's not very constructive if they can't go back and change anything. So again, if you want to give a feedback, please do it before they're on nationals. Do it in a nice way. Be like, I would love to see Morgan compete as a redhead. I think that'd be sick. Like, she looks so cool as a redhead. Don't be like, Morgan's the ugliest blonde I've ever seen in my life. That color's trash. It's giving trailer park. Don't you dare say that. I own those roots proudly. But
oh my goodness.
I will say, for my women out there who have to endure this or think that they have to endure this, no, you don't. A few things that were hard for me to learn. And the one thing that got me through, I had to challenge myself to learn to grow. There's a part of the Bible, I don't care what you believe in, do your own thing. I think it's good energy regardless of your beliefs. Pray for your enemies. That was the one thing I did. This person who dogged me out and kept dragging me for weeks afterwards, it was the hardest thing. It was the hardest thing. And I forced myself to try to start praying for them. And when I tell you it transformed everything about me, 2, someone else's opinion of you is none of your business. Your opinion of me is genuinely none of my business. I don't care. I don't need to know it, dude. Like, that's okay. You can think what you want. It would hurt my feelings probably if I heard it, but it's none of my business. And 3, outside of the turnaround and face your, the bullies in your nightmare because they won't say it to you to your face. I was living proof of that. Number 3, if you would not change places with them, don't take it to heart. Don't take advice from anyone that you wouldn't change places with. And that's not to say, like, don't listen to your coaches, because, like, you get what I'm saying. Like, obviously, Adrian's not going to be able to walk us behind on the Miss USA stage. But
hey, you never know. There's open casting call round 2.
Boy, put that wig on. Let me see it.
Not Olivia Culpo.
Yes, not Olivia Culpo. But, if it's someone, who you should and should not be taking critiques and advice from, use your discernment on that, because half the time that's all these people have is the keyboard warrior life. And I'd hate to see what the rest of it looks like, but there's no reason that their opinions should be negatively affecting who you are as a person. And maybe it takes a long time to get there. My mom said that she prays for them too, just not the same prayer. Okay, but
I was going to say, I was going to say, like, I assume when it's pray for your enemies, it's not in the passive aggressive way, but it genuinely. That is not easy to do. Like, to genuinely wish them well and healing and to find grace.
I've had to learn that hurt people. Hurt people. And I was new to this industry. I was very, very, very new to this industry. And I learned pretty quickly after that you have to protect your peace. And, one client of mine back in the day told me that she zips up her energy. She visualizes zipping it up so that nothing and no one around her can negatively affect it. She's in her own little spacesuit. And that was kind of what I had to learn to do in a way. But you were hurt, and instead of focusing on your own healing, you chose to hurt me instead. And that's okay. It's not okay, but it's okay, because it was a lesson I needed.
You are I mean this honestly, you're a better person than me if you can do that. I can intellectually understand it, but I've seen, like, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, but when there's, like, middle-aged men critiquing young women's bodies, and those young women have worked extraordinarily hard to get into shape, and you as a middle-aged man or woman, and you're sitting behind your keyboard and you are 300 pounds overweight and you're stuffing your face with Cheetos, or you are dressed like me and then you're critiquing someone's fashion on the Miss USA stage, I just like don't understand. It's that whole thing about wanting to swap people's lives. Like, well, I'd rather be that girl than that fat person. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Okay. The couch potato sitting in front of their laptop, you know, critiquing a young woman on. I don't understand it. But
I don't get it. And I will say, Adrian, you and I can be gnarly. I think you're probably a little more hot in the butt to respond more quickly and pop off at somebody. I just want you to know that, have you ever seen Lord of the Rings, Schmeagol?
Yes. Are you saying I'm Gollum?
Gollum, yeah. That lives inside of me. And I keep it locked up because I'm a big believer that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And pretty sure that was from The Art of War. But yeah, it's
Where did you come up with all these phrases from, Morgan? Like you dropped them like
that was in The Art of War. Man, I am like a wisdom.
I read that book. I don't remember that. How do you remember all these?
It might not be. It might be from something else. She's in there and she's locked up and she's put to the side and she stays in her corner. But there are certain things that like she would come out if it came down to. Just don't let it come down to it.
Yeah, look,
I feel trash.
I get that. I mean, the tale on men versus women and the way they tend to sort out problems. I'm sure you guys have heard this. Men tend to like punch each other in the face, get it over with, and they can be best friends. So sometimes that side of me does come out, especially as an Australian. I'm like, okay, you said this. Let's duke it out. We'll see who's right, and then we can, deal with it. I'm not saying that I want it, and I've never punched anyone. I've never attacked anyone, and I won't. But it's just like, look, you're so brave behind the keyboard. Say it to my face, right? It's just, come on, let's get this out. And there is that energy in me, and I have to do a lot. You're right, Morgan, to push it back down.
I'll send you some Bible verses. I'll send you some self-help.
Yeah, thank you. I need that. I have read the Bible, but this whole like praying for your enemies, that's got my head spinning for like, I get that, but...
it's the hardest thing, dude. When I tell you, I was like, yo, this might be the biggest form of growth I've ever had to endure. Meanwhile, my husband, you said you've never punched anyone. I can't say the same. I haven't. My husband very much has. And my husband is very much the calm, quiet, but like Unabomber energy, like, you don't want to try it. And this man was ready to, he was going to risk it all because he had never seen me so upset. This man was ready to full send. And I was like, no,
okay. That's as a husband should do, though.
Praying for them.
Yeah.
Praying for them.
No. The one time I lost my rag, I was in primary school. I was about the age of 12, but I was 6 foot at the age of 12, so I had really long legs. And I was very quiet spoken, and I get along with everyone still, like to this day, pretty much, despite what you might think from this episode. But bullies, and they're just relentless, and they keep poking, and they keep poking, they keep poking. And just one day, I went over the line. I just lined this bully up, took my leg back, and I kicked him as hard as I could right in the shin. And those school shoes, the leather ones that have the really hard, like brick-like leather soles? Got him right in the shin, and he went down like a sack of you-know-what. And that, I just remember the visual of him rolling around on the floor. It's like, well, you shouldn't have said that. How do you feel now? Yeah, and I never got in trouble for that because, of course, he couldn't tell anyone because then... Yeah. Anyway, I got to think about this praying thing. Morgan, what have you got coming up the next week?
What have I got coming up? God, what day is it? Sunday? We're working. Yeah. We're just working. Just bypass me on these because you just automatically know. In a couple weeks, we're going to Nashville, so y'all will be missing me because we are going to a massive country concert. It'll be Alan Jackson's last ride, and there's like 15 artists there.
Wow.
But Yeah, I'm just out here working. Got pageants this weekend, pageants next week, pageants next weekend. Caitlin, that you just interviewed, is gearing up for Arizona, USA, which is next weekend. Yeah. And I'm going to wait on them to drop it, but stay tuned for the Miss Arizona USA page because someone you might know might be popping up. Not in person, but on their Instagram.
Okay. Geanna, what about you? What you got coming up the next week?
Same old. Last week of classes. Yes. As of Friday, the kids are only coming in for finals after that for the last 2 weeks. So last day of classes this Friday. Lots of educational movie watching. And
favorite.
Yes. And what else?
You're gearing up.
Still full in Miss New York USA prep. I booked a really last minute photo shoot for next Saturday. So I booked that a week and a half ago. So literally I'm just yeah, let's just do it. So just kind of float in, but also not float. I have a plan. It's in my head. It might not make sense to anyone else, but there's a plan.
It's there.
It's there.
All right.
Adrian, what are you doing?
We're the ADHD-enabled crowd. Yes. We know what it's like to have a plan that no one else can understand, but it makes sense in our own heads. Tune in next week to find out if Geanna's plan has survived. For me, if you guys are watching, you might want to tune back in around 45 minutes. I'll be interviewing Victoria Treadwell, who is a contestant at Miss Connecticut USA, and someone who almost died from an overdose and then subsequently went on to turn her life around. And these are the sorts of interviews and topics that I love digging into because these are real stories of real people who, it's so brave to even, talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm very interested to hear her story firsthand and dig in and ask some questions. I like these sorts of stories. I know sometimes people go, you shouldn't talk about that in pageants. It's it's the only thing that really keeps my interest is that sort of story.
It's real.
So I'll be live with Victoria in about 45 minutes. Kenzie, if you're watching, hope all your coaching went super well. Geanna, thank you for substituting in for Peyton while she's away at Miss Volunteer America, which she will be soon. And thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you have a topic you would like us to discuss, pageantpod.com, and you can do so anonymously and we will not out you. But thanks for watching and we will speak to you next week. Bye for now. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you're a competitive pageant girl and you're after some high-performance pageant coaching, make sure to come and check us out at Pageant.Project.com, where you can start your journey for free. In the meantime, follow us on all our socials at The Pageant Project. Speak to you next time.